Well, it's the end of an era, for me anyways, but the lights have been dimmed and it's time to tear down the old studio. Now, as excited as I am to move into the new space, there's a little part of me is definitely going to miss this old studio. I had a lot of fun here and learned a lot, but the time has come to tear it down. Why don't you join me? Yes, it's time to finally tear down this space. I'm not going to lie, the process of doing this is a lot of work, not to mention documenting it at the same time. It's kind of slowing me down. I'm not even using microphones anymore, we're just using audio on the camera. But we're going to get through this, and I really wanted to document this process and share it with you guys. So here we are at the point where it's time to tear down the studio. I got to keep organized because there's a lot of equipment in here, a lot of cables, a lot of things like that, and I want to be able to migrate as seamlessly as possible. So here's my plan. If you look around the studio, I have very definable areas, right? I've got storage, I've got my charging station, I've got the desk, I've got the computer area, I've got the outboard gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign a box or two that's going to be specific to that area. I don't care if the box is half empty. The only thing that's going to go in that box are the things that belong to that part of the studio. So if we take, for example, the computer area with all the cabling, what I'm going to do, as I take out each cable, if it's not already labeled, I'm going to make sure I label it so I know exactly where it's supposed to go back in the new studio. Now I'm going to be managing cables and things like that, but we want to get the basic infrastructure working as quickly as we can. And whatever box I use for there, if it's half empty, it's going to stay half empty. The only things in there are going to belong to that part of the studio. I'm going to follow that methodology all the way around the studio. I'm going to assign a storage container specific to that area, label it. Anything, with cables and things like that that need to be specifically labeled, I'm going to do it as I take it apart. It'll just make my life a lot easier. Obviously, all the controllers and the hardware, I do have boxes for a lot of this, and if I don't, obviously I'll pack it carefully. I am personally going to move these items myself. I'm not going to give them to the mover. But that's my plan. But the first thing I'm going to do, and if you can see, I've started taking panels away already because I need them in the new space to figure out the layout there. But the first thing I'm going to do is take down the acoustic panels and get those packed into the car because I need to get them over to the new space and get those sort of arranged because, as I've said, that has to be set up before I start moving in furniture. All right, time to tear it down. Let's do it. Well, we're back to where we started. I'm just kidding. Not much better. Don't drop your guitars when you're moving. So I have to admit, I got a little overwhelmed last night as I started to tear the studio down. I've acquired a lot of stuff over the last 5 years. I didn't even realize it. I mean, even though I had some organizational challenges, most of the stuff I used had a place, and now that I'm tearing it out, I am overwhelmed. So I had to shut it down last night. I was exhausted. Also, I'm not just moving a studio, we're moving our house. So we got to pack that up as well. So it's been a lot of work. So I decided to shut it down, get some sleep, kind of back today, rethink this. I need to make space. As you can see around me, it's just absolute chaos. I have no room to put anything. So I'm going to start pulling out some of the bigger items, amps and things like that. Just get them off the floor. I'll pack the guitars and get back to what I was doing yesterday. Now, the idea of organizing each section, or dismantling each section one by one and having a designated box, that's working well. I've got 2 of those sections pretty much packed up right now. So I'm going to get a bunch of things just out of here to make space. I've designated a space in the other part of the basement. That'll be sort of the launch pad to get it out of here, and fresh and ready to jump back in. Oh man, I'm getting too old for this. That seems to have barely made a dent. There's something that needs to be said. I have a love-hate relationship with curly cables. Ugh.